Thank you guys for coming. Thank you very much for having us. I think we're having a slightly different thing. It's a little bit of a fire chat. The idea is to discuss shortly a couple of topics that are relevant. So we are talking about an event about startups, companies. So I'll be having with me, and I would like to bring back to the stage Pedro Saraiva. Pedro Saraiva is the CEO, the director of Tagus Valley, and we'll be talking a little bit. He's also the vice president of Tech Parks, which is the National Association of Science Parks. I think with Startup Portugal and with us, you hear a lot of weird words like Tech Parks and RNI and a lot of things. So it's normal with these things. So I'd like to call Pedro to discuss this a little bit. Pedro? Please. I don't know if you're from Benfica or not, but let's not talk about those things today.
Not better to talk about.
So the idea is to present a little bit about this efforts that we have. So we all work about innovation, about how to bring companies to the real world, about how to accompany entrepreneurs on these things as a science park, as an incubator. So what I would say that we run through that. It's not easy going through all of this, the expectations. I think Tim talked a little about this. We have a lot of national, international support from a lot of entities. We have programs, but I would ask very shortly, what is the main problem that you say and the main challenge that you have in how to engage companies to come to this innovation part, how to get innovation into companies, and how do our institutions like science parks can do that?
Yes, well, good morning, and thank you for having the opportunity to feel the power of what you are doing here at Algarve, and many congrats for the work you are doing here. Well, I think I'll need to contest a bit what is Tagus Valley, because that is important to answer the question. Well, we are a small science park right in the middle of Portugal. If you see Portugal, we are a rectangle, and if we make like this, we're in the spot right in the middle where nothing exists. Well, nothing, if people from there hear this expression. But yes, it's true. Well, we are science park, but we don't have an university around us. We are a science park, but we don't have a large community of people around us. We have a 250 community at the territorial level, but we are there from 25 years. So we are doing something that can put things in place and can help. And our main focus is exactly that. Well, we are focused on supporting enterprises.
And how do you do that? So the question is, so for example, in our part, I'm part of the University of Algarve. We are in a also peripheral region, but we have a university, right? So we also have challenges. It's not easy. So it's very hard to sometimes, again, I really like what Tim was presenting, because the academia, and as a university saying this, is still very traditional in the way of doing things. How do we get students more entrepreneurs in this innovation area? How do we get professors? There are still very much, I don't know if there's a professor or a researcher here. How do we get these guys? They are highly evaluated on the number of patents they do, the number of papers that they do. That's, in the end of the day, that's their selling point. That's what they do. How do we engage them for innovation? So that's very hard. How do you do it if you still don't also have that? Right?
Yes.
How do you get innovation into companies? How do you get them to do something different, to go to these programs that you won't just mention? That is a challenge.
Well, what we have done, if we don't have those things, you create them. That was we have made. Well, most of our ecosystem is managed and by Tagus Valley himself. The first thing is that we created our own ecosystem and try to put things in service to the enterprises. That is our main difference and the way that we are doing the things. So we do have an incubator, and we do the work with startups and support people that has an idea to create their own business. But going to the enterprises and in the tech sector, we are focused mainly, well, in the traditional sectors for industry in the region. But we have created applied research units that tries to answer the needs of the enterprises. Well, we are not well, we are not going to Mars, but we are answering the needs from the enterprises from the region, and we have teams that supports them, and we make applied research in electronics and things like that for the industrial process, or we do also works with biotech and food sector with applied research. So we are a hub that connects universities, and we don't have a partnership with Algarve, and the food sector is, of course, is one of the the points that we can reinforce and attract, because we've made two main bets. So we've pointed to the scale up. So we are the factories for the knowledge, but we are also the laboratory for the enterprises. So we are a real interface act member, and also we've made a bet also in the technology, so differentiate our activity in a certain point. So that's why we can talk with Algarve, but also we talk with Minho, we talk with Aveiro.
There's a network that.
Yes, we are a
Let
broader
me ask you
network.
something, because there is something that in the Algarve, it's being, Tim also mentioned about that, but we are talking about startups, connecting universities, all this networkings and innovation. But the mindset that was said before, that is something that at least in our part, I don't know what's the experiences in the room, but this way of thinking, it's important to work. So, for example, I know in the Algarve, I'm looking at Algarve Evolution, AlgarveSTP, even the university. We are in Lagos. There's a program with the University of Algarve and the municipality of Lagos for introducing entrepreneurship in high schools, not in university, in high schools. Nobody wants the kid to comes out of the school, drop school and creates a company. That's not the point, but it's to create a mindset. So do you guys do that, and what's your feedback? Because the thing is that for these things to happen and for this dynamics to explode, and for us to be able to take advantage of the programs that João just presented, the mindset needs to work a little bit. Do you do that, and how?
Yes, I liked him a lot what Tim said. Well, I used to say that, well, a few years ago, my daughters at that time, in primary school, they had the opportunity to learn English, and for us, it was, for me, it was a strange thing, because they were learning to speak the natural language, and we are putting at the same time a different language. Well, but that made the difference. Well, as you can see, all of the Portuguese people have good, well, they speak better than I in English, that didn't have that opportunity, but had the opportunity. None of them are English teachers, but they, of course, they used the English and the ability of using that language to access culture, to access knowledge, to be a person of the world, and that is very important. What we do at Tagus Valley, a bit inspired on that, we also do that for the digital skills. We are talking about small kids for the 3rd and 4th year of the primary school, and once per week, 1 hour each week, 4,000 of kids from our territory have an activity with us, and we think that will be the same. Well, as the English that is important to interact with the real world. We think that the digital will be, of course, it is nowadays also already, but it will be very important for those kids that will be better employees for the workers who they work for, or will be better professionals also to understand what the machines are doing, and asking, and with artificial intelligence, we must say what the machine will do for us. If they are familiar with the logic, they can be more proficient for their works. So we are doing also that, and that's very interesting too.
And we are almost finishing. And by the way, none of this was organized or pre-scheduled between us. So if everything goes wrong, that's normal. But one question that it's always a push-up question that we have, you're from a science park, you're also from tech parks, and the thing that I think it's always interesting, we see examples like this in other places around the world, like João just presented. There are now, with the startup law, very good initiatives like the decrease in terms of fiscal corporate tax that we pay. There's a lot of things that are relevant. So what do you think parks and science parks and incubators, what can we do here to foster this connectivity between universities, startups, and society? Because parks and incubators, that's where these things happen. So does it make sense, for example, like we have some other places in the world where if you are inside an incubator, if you are inside a science park, there's regulation for that, but you can have a decrease in a corporate tax. You can have specific programs you can access. What can we do as parks to contribute to this innovation bridge? Because that's exactly the things that we do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what can I say? We must be ourselves, and what you are doing here in Algarve Tech Hub, it's a very good example. Well, science parks are no longer infrastructures with square meters to rent. That had ended, but of course we need facilities, we need to have the place to attract and establish the companies and make the work of promoting the innovation. But mainly we must do what we are doing here today. It's connecting, working with the ecosystem, networking, and being a player that makes the connection.
Yeah, that's something that we've also, by the way, we've also, Pedro just said something, yeah, it's more than just the space nowadays. It's not a renting company. It's the services, the networkings, and dynamics that you can include. I just want to say, and because we are here in an event such as this, and because we've been supported, for example, by the municipality of Lagos here, we have almost everyone in the room knows Akil from CCDR, who is usually a player in these areas. And this is important just to say that for this bridge to exist, and as you were saying, whether you have a university or not, whether we bring a university out, we have students, we have the entrepreneurs, it is still important, and just we finish with that. I just wanted to hear if you agree. It is important to have more and more specific areas. I think Nuno is coming afterwards, still today working. He's also from a science park in a specific area with the wine, the best guy to know. So if you like wine, that's him. But it's important to have that more and more for that validation stage. It is very interesting when we talk about ICT technologies. We need good Wi-Fi, good environment, good vibes, a good network. But if you want to develop like some of the companies that we'll have here today, probably in the biotech sector, it's very good to talk about the unicorns, but we still need places where they can, sorry for the expression, where they can blow shit up, right? We can do a lot of mistakes. We still have those things, and I don't think I don't know if you agree, but that's still something that for us is important.
That is essential. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, 10 minutes. Hope we didn't bother you too much. Thank you very much. Benfica will do better. Benfica will do better, and we'll talk later.